Girlfriend left me because she doesn't want a relationship at all right now but still wants me around. I'm hoping we will eventually get back together. My girlfriend left me because she doesn't want to be in a relationship with anyone at all at the moment, saying she doesn't feel she is healed enough from last relationship, 6 months gap before we started ours, or in a good state to be in a relationship at the moment. I confronted her that she was probably just going to go and find someone else, but she insisted that she doesn't want to be in a relationship at all, with anyone, and wants to be free from the obligations of a relationship. Edit. Also, just to say, because someone is probably going to think she just wants to sleep around, she is definitely not the type, and expressed she doesn't want to have someone to always think/worry about, even if that's selfish of her, and was quite disgusted when I hinted at that. We had been in a relationship for about 7 months, about a month plus ago she almost ended it, but I talked her out of it. She ended it completely 3 days ago but still wants to keep me around and says she still has some love for me but not as much as before. I asked her if she would get back together with me when she feels healed enough, but all she can say is I don't know, maybe, and keeps saying I would have moved on by then. I expressed I would wait for her to be ready, but she says that you aren't the first person to say that to me, but everyone moves on so fast. She says she really doesn't want to lose me as a friend and really enjoys hanging out with me, but would understand if I just blocked her if it's too difficult for me. We have still been talking a bit, and when we have she's been flirty with me, so I'm not really sure how to feel, as well as that since we were kinda long distance she had a flight to come stay with me in about 2 to 3 weeks and hang out at my place for a bit, then stay at a hotel with our mutual friends. She initially said she doesn't know what she'll do about that, either get Airbnb or just cancel flight outright and reschedule until the hangout with the others. I said she can stay and I'll just sleep on the couch so she doesn't waste money, and all she had to say to that was, even when you've moved on from me, you'll offer me a place to stay, and I said I would, but to not think I'm just going to move on. I don't really know how to feel about all this. The breakup is really hurting me. I do want to get back with her, but am I just wasting my time in hoping? Comment. Hope will become your bane. You go no contact in this situation. If you cross paths in the future, awesome, cross that bridge when it happens. But you cannot maintain a friendship with someone you're in love with. That will be brutal for you. And if she genuinely wants to heal, she needs to do that on her own. Distract. Keeping you around will hinder her progress. There is no point in doing a soft breakup where you two practically function as a couple but not technically a couple. Also, because you have no idea what the future holds, you cannot sit around for months, years for someone to make their way back to you. I know people can meet at improper times, but if you two cannot navigate the situation together when the relationship is on, you're not meant to be. It's been 7 months together, she ain't the love of your life. Your relationship just fell apart, no other way to put it. You two tried and it didn't work out. On to the next. Don't make this easier for her, meanwhile making it harder on yourself. Same social circle, great. Sounds even more complicated. These kind of situations tend to be a massive time waster and an emotional burden. Creating as much space as possible will probably be the best for you. Keep your friendship confined to group settings, that's it. No more daily interactions. Can you handle being just friends with her? And you have to respect her reasons for breaking it off. Just don't try and guilt trip her. Next story 2. How do I move forward? Do I still have a relationship with my parents? I moved out recently from my mom's, and this is the longest I have been away from her or my dad, 59M, for my entire life. I am currently living with my partner and his mom. She opened up her house to us after her dad passed away a few months ago. She is a very crabby, due to long hours and lack of sleep, but sweet lady. She lets us use 2 rooms in the house and gave us furniture to use in those rooms. She gifted me fine liners for college and a lot of expensive skincare and makeup products that she wasn't using. I don't get comments on how I dress or my makeup. She didn't get mad when I dyed my hair and even said it looked pretty on me. She isn't irritated by me rambling on sometimes about whatever. She feeds me whatever I want. She isn't opposed to me getting a job. There are cute cats here, I get to pet and spoil. These are simple things. Things I didn't have growing up. I knew for the longest time my parents were not healthy for me, but I never knew how bad it was. Until I had simple compassion and understanding. I feel bad for living here. For being happy away from my parents. I feel bad for not telling them everything anymore. I feel bad for not taking herbs anymore and taking meds for my mental and physical problems. I feel bad for not wanting to talk to them. I feel bad for one day imagining that they are no longer in my life. They have done some pretty terrible things to me and my sister in our childhood. Dad would yell at us for everything and never took care of us. Basically, if we didn't clean, cook, garden, etc., nothing would get done. We were compared all the time. I was the smart one and my sister the pretty one. We both felt insecure about the other person's aspect our entire life. Everyone is wrong, we are both smart and pretty. I just wish my sister believed that herself. There is much more, but too much for this post. Both try now to treat us right, but the damage is already done. My sister has very little interaction with them and me. I still talk to them and see them, because I feel some sort of obligation to. They are so depressed about my sister. Of course I felt like she was loved more. But it's really because neither of them have good or healthy friendships/relationships. Mom is depressed and angry that I moved out the way I did. She doesn't like pretty much everything I am doing for myself. I somewhat dread calling her or my dad, because all I will hear is disapproval and disappointment. Basically I am becoming like my sister. They are still comparing. I feel so bad for her, she got the worst of it. So is it wrong, despite all the pain my parents put me through, to still talk to them and occasionally go see them? Or should I stop, and continue on with my life, without them in it? Next story 3. My boyfriend wants no contact space away from me and refuses to give me a date of when he wants to come back. We've been together for a year now and moved in very quickly. We've been best friends and inseparable since day one, but over the past couple weeks we've been arguing every day to the point where he has punched holes in the walls, etc. For context, we live in rented accommodation. Because he punched holes in the walls, last week I asked him to buy a wall repair kit so that he can fix it. A couple days after asking him, I reminded him to order it and he snapped and said, "I did it the first time you asked me." A couple days after that I asked when it would get here and he said, "Oh, it's just delayed." I ordered it on Amazon and it said 3/5 days. On Sunday night I asked him again for an update and he said the same thing. I did the bad thing and logged into his Amazon account to check what was going on, and that's when I find out he hasn't ordered it. I was annoyed that he had lied about it, considering he has always said to me that he has never lied to me. Which I know is untrue. When I confronted him about it, I was immediately made to feel like I was in the wrong. He had brought up everything I've ever done wrong and then said that I am always looking for issues to have a go at him for, and I should just accept that he said he'd fix the wall and he will do it when he wants to. I challenged him and said unfortunately we live in rented and we need it fixed ASAP, and then went upstairs because I just didn't want to carry on the conversation. He comes upstairs, says I'm not happy anymore, and then we both go to sleep in separate beds. In the morning I wake up, get ready for work, and he was still asleep. So I did what I normally do, I left quietly and didn't make any fuss. At 12, I try to call him to check in on him. I'm blocked. I'm blocked on everything. I come home from work at 4 p.m. and all of his stuff is gone. He unblocks me to send me a text saying he will drop his key back to mine and he needs space. So I say that's okay and take as much time as he needs. At 8 p.m., he turns up and says he wants to stay the night at mine whilst he finds other accommodation. I say that's fine and I just try to have a semi-normal evening. At the end of the night, he tells me he still wants space for as long as he needs, and during that time he wants to go completely no contact and he'll come back when he's ready. My birthday is in 2 weeks, so I ask if he will be back by then and he says I don't know, to which I get annoyed and say I would like to set a date when we can check in to see if you're coming back. I don't want to be sat here for a month and not know what's going on. This started another argument about how I won't let him just do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to see me or hear from me and he will tell me when he's coming back when he wants to. In all honesty, I'm heartbroken. It feels like to me he isn't planning on coming back and only came back last night for a bed. Am I unreasonable asking for a date to check in? How should I handle the next few weeks? Just go on with my life assuming he isn't coming back? Comment. You have been dumped. He was hoping you'd dump him, hence his shitty violent rude behavior, but you didn't do. He had to play the bad guy and dump you. He may well have been seeing someone else and just turned up on your doorstep after walking out because she told him to fuck off. You should change the locks on your doors and block him because he just wants you to hang around to use you as a bed and breakfast if his new girlfriend doesn't want him. The sooner you come to terms with the fact that you are single, the better, because he's not going to come back anytime soon declaring undying love. You are over. If he does come back, it will be if his new GF dumps him, so he will be wanting to use you as an interim fuck buddy while he looks for someone new. He no longer loves or cares for you. Block him everywhere and move on. Don't let him come back. The only reason he came back at all was him realizing he doesn't have a place to sleep. You are currently his host, not his girlfriend. The violence is a huge red flag. Destroying things in anger is one step away from hitting you. Consider yourself lucky. He left, you keep a roof over your head, he doesn't keep all your stuff, and you didn't get hit, yet. Maybe even he knows that. Maybe he comes close to hitting you with every argument, and that's why he is leaving. It's a blessing, and hopefully he will get help. The problem is he punching walls in an argument, not how long it takes to fix it. He's violent, and the violence always escalates. Read a book I've recommended here plenty in situations like yours, easy to find in PDF online, called Why Does He Do That? Please do. Why on earth do you want this abusive man back? If he has left, then you have been given a golden opportunity to get the hell away from him. Most women are not so lucky. I am sorry that it hurts, but he is not a good man, and you will find better. How long before you become one of those walls? You're being a doormat. Stop letting your BF dictate everything. He says he wants to leave, you say okay. He says he wants to stay, you say okay. He wants space for as long as he needs, and you say okay. Are you really going to pause your life in the hopes that he'll want to be with you again? Meanwhile he's out doing who knows what. This guy isn't good for you. Take this time to find some self-respect, self-esteem, self-worth, whatever you want to label it, and tell your, hopefully, soon-to-be ex that the relationship is over.